Whee! Alright, so I'm looking at this exhaust manifold and I see a problem, unfortunately. Good morning and welcome back to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are continuing on the 2004 F-150 5.4 liter, and I'm gonna take some time to get used to this camera. So good news, I got two things of really good news. One, the new engine for this F-150 has shown up. It is right there. New, reman, whatever. And two, I am using a new camera because I'm tired of the GoPro. So what I bought is the DJI Action 5 Pro or something to that effect, because I'm assuming the screen's still recording. It just died to save battery. The GoPro here, this is the GoPro Hero 8. This is the third GoPro I've had. I think I started with the 4, and then the 7, and then the 8. The 4 just sucked and it died. I've always had the black version. The 7 worked for a while, but then the camera was overheating, and now the 8 is fine. I don't have any issues with the 8, except for the batteries. The batteries all expand, bloat, and I think it was happening in the camera when it would get hot. They'd expand and bloat and push the camera apart, so the camera became faulty. That's what I know. Now, this is the longest video I've done on this camera so far, and I have no idea what's happening with the screen, so I think I might go plug this card into the computer and make sure that all is well before I continue, because I have no idea what's going on. But just for fun, yeah, I need the screen. I have no idea what you guys can see right now. Just for fun, here is the reman engine. I got the long block version, the Fraser Advantage build from Fraser Engines or whatever they call themselves. This just came in today. Super excited. I'm going to start moving parts over. So the first video in the series was the removal from the engine bay. Second video is just going to be swapping parts. So I'm just going to swap some pulleys over, swap some hoses over, the oil filter housing, stuff like that, the dipstick, the exhaust manifolds, tensioner, sensors, all that I got to move over here before putting it in the engine bay. And that's what we're going to do today. So pretty exciting. My garage is a disaster with parts right now. So I want this to be my truck. I want this to become the truck that I drive daily. I think it's in really good shape inside. Everything's nice. I might put a leveling kit on it. Nothing crazy. Either way, I want this to be good when I'm done with it and not worrying about it. So I've bought quite a few parts here. I've got new exhaust manifolds there from Dorman. The gaskets that come with them are crap. I'm throwing those away. Got some power steering hoses. We've got a new starter, just because it looks like a pain in the butt to change out. And the old one, even though it was working when the engine died, I'm going to guarantee you several people tried to crank that for hours on end to get the thing to start. So we're just going to start fresh with a new one. Got new engine mounts. We got a new AC compressor because that looks like a pain in the butt to change out. New gaskets all the way around. We got a new fan clutch with a water pump. We got some new pulleys in here. We got a brand new belt. We got some injector cleaner because I just buy that stuff when I find it on sale. Nothing to do with the truck. And oil filter housing, thingy majiggy, gasket, and stuff. Anyway, new power steering pump. We just bought some stuff, okay? Because once this engine goes in, I want it to just run and start putting some miles on it, because I think this is going to be a fun truck to have. Yes, I know it's not fun. It's just a half-ton pickup. I've had a few of these, but I want this to be a special one for me to just enjoy and not have to work on anymore. So we got a new AC condenser to replace the old one. I've got a new radiator supposed to be coming today. We've got new radiator hoses, new thermostat, lots of new stuff. Intake manifold. That engine says with warnings all over it to put a new one on or thoroughly clean that. Anywho, we're going to start putting this together. I am pretty stoked. This looks so clean. I've never actually bought a reman engine. I always just junkyard or another car that runs and put them in. So this is pretty exciting for me. So I'm going to hop to it. But first things first, I got to figure out this camera and why there's no screen on it anymore. I'm assuming I can change that in the settings so that I can see what you guys see, because right now I have no idea. So I'm going to go plug this SD card in the computer and make sure that is capturing what I want it to capture. Then I'm going to come back out and I'm going to start putting things together. So let's go. I'm going to start with the easiest stuff first, just to start getting things on. I did buy all new pulleys. I've got a harmonic balancer coming tomorrow, but for now I can still do the idlers, and I can put the water pump on, I can put the tensioner on, everything except the harmonic balancer. Typically, in my experience, you don't need a new harmonic balancer, but because everything else is going to be new, I'm just putting a new one on. That's what I'm doing. Like it or love it, hate it or not, think it's worth it or not, don't care. That's what I'm doing. So, I already had these off, but I'm just going to pull this off. Now we're going to find a smooth pulley. If we do these side by side, it's easy. I'm kind of yelling because the microphone on this seems to not be as good as the microphone on the GoPro. So we might have to remove some paint on a couple of these, apparently. Or we just shove them on with the impact, which kind of sounds good right now. So we're just going to do this here. I'll go slow. Yep, right there. Oh, that's quiet. I love new. I will probably look for torque specs and I will post them down below. So watch the screen if you want torque specs. I will try to find those. So we're going to take the groove pulley off. If you're reusing pulleys, you would obviously take those over. I just need the hardware. 204. I think that was the groove pulley. Yep, there's the groove pulley. So this one's going to go on. Oh, that one fits nice. So then we got another smooth idler pulley here. So this one's going to go right here. Oh, that one fits. So it's just one tight one so far. There we go. Nice and smooth. Alright, the tensioner, again, I just need the bolts out of it because I bought a new tensioner too. I'm going to slap these off. Alright, we're just going to zing these in a little bit. That one got a little tight in there. It almost seemed like these bolts are a little rounded. I think there's been too much tension on those at some point. Alright, like I said, harmonic balancer will be here tomorrow. So I think now we just need the water pump. So let me grab that. So the water pump comes with its own O-ring, and I think the engine came with an O-ring for it too. Whee! But now we need to take the old one off. Looks like we do need to take the pulley off of the water. Oh, I didn't realize that wasn't coming with a pulley. Oh man, I would have got the pulley too, so that'd all be brand new. Oh! Nope. It wants to come. There it is. Here it goes. Pry bar. Now we're going to try and encourage some removal behavior here. There we go. Just need a little encouragement. So there's the pulley. Now I'll take the water pump off. I just need the bolts because I'm putting a new water pump on. We're going to get our new O-ring. A lot of people coat these in grease. I don't know if you need to or not. I just know people do. I don't typically. I usually just put it in there. But you could. What I do if I do lube them up is I usually grab some coolant and put it in there because that's natural to its own habitat. However you want to do that, it's a pretty tight fit. I might just lube the O-ring with a little coolant. Yeah, and I'm not a mechanic. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just make it up as I go. Whatever sounds good at the time is what I do. That's enough to get a finger in it. And just kind of coat this. The O-ring's quite small for the size of the groove here. That's what came with it, so we're gonna hope it's good. The good news is on these Fords, the O-rings are pretty, or the water pump's pretty easy to get to. So we're gonna kind of go back and forth a little bit to get it to seat. What we don't want to do is just shove it on there and then pop the O-ring off of its mounting position, because that'll create a bad day for us. Something like that, I guess. Just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. We'll torque those later, like I said. And we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna grab our little screws and we're gonna put those in. And I'm not gonna put these on very tight because I need to go get torque specs so I can torque those. I'm just putting this on so I don't lose the parts. All right, some of these sensors they blend in quite well, but I'm gonna look for them. We're gonna try and replace them as we can. I'm gonna replace these with the ones that are currently in there because I think, oh, that's gross. Okay, that one we're gonna clean up with some brake clean, and then I want to slap it in over here. It goes right here. I'm gonna torque that down, but that needs some cleaning first. I'll be right back. All right, I got that mostly cleaned up for the most part. Oh, that's all cracked. Oh, we're gonna have to buy a new one of them then, because that's not gonna last very long. So I take that back on that one. I will go find a new one to order. But what I was gonna do is just re-lube the O-ring and stick it in there. But I guess I'll go look for a new one of these. Before I get too carried away though, I'm still gonna stick it in there, so I know where it goes in the bolt, and I will get a new one coming. That will cause problems later, I'm sure. And try and either pull this out, twist it out. It might thread in. Most of them are just pushed in. That one's just pushed in. We'll go ahead and be nice for the core in hopes of getting the core. And we're gonna plug everything that was plugged over here. We're gonna plug back in over here. And this, with our freshly lubed O-ring, will just go in there. I want to buy the new sensor. Yes, I won't forget, I promise, because that stuff will keep me up at night. The oil pressure sending unit comes with the new housing on that. So these, that one's kind of gross. That one looks like an 8mm as well. So we'll pull this guy out. Grab our sensor. Oh, most of these have been sitting in there for a minute, so they don't really want to come out. Oh, this one really don't want to come out. Even with the wiggle, wow. It doesn't like screw in there, does it? Pry bar it is. Come on. Come to Papa. There it goes. Oh, that is gross too. Holy smokes. I can't see what you guys are seeing because the screen keeps timing out. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull this one out. I'm going to clean them both. Alright, back to it. So now we've got both our sensors cleaned up, pulled out. So we're going to grab our little needle nosers. Oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, almost. I'm going to have to dig in a little bit here. There it goes. I think you can lube this whole thing. I don't think it's going to matter. You can just slide it in there. Oh, there it goes. Same thing with this one. Get that all goobed up. And you can just slide it in there. Take your screws. Again, we're going to tighten these up to whatever the torque spec is I found and put down there. If I didn't put one down there, it's because I forgot to look or I didn't find one. So I'll be back. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take these off. What you don't want to do is you don't want this to fling around and break. Probably going to happen, but let's find out. No, it didn't. Look at that. Okay. And just slide that off. Whoop. And go right over here to this one and put it right back on where it was on the other one. No idea, torque spec, we're just going that tight. Same thing with this guy on this side. Uh-oh. That one's gonna play difficult. There we go. Go over here. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start moving over all of the ignition coils. So these are little 8mm, nope, they might be like 6ers. I'm gonna pull all the ignition coils off and start moving them in over here. I went ahead and shoved some paper towels and all the intakes and the water jackets, just eliminate dropping little bolts in there. And you know, we are trying to get a core back from a damaged engine, so we'll see how that goes. Now, the new engine came with spark plugs. There's spark plugs in there, so we don't need to worry about taking those out. So we're not going to open a hole per se by pulling these out. We're going to leave the spark plugs in there. I know there's a lot of dirt. We're going to blow all this off before it goes away. Just going to go ahead and pull these out. Now, these are really yucky. These are aftermarkets. Somebody's replaced them already. That's fine. I'll leave them because I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money on these, and they're easy to replace later if these are an issue. But I do want to clean these up. These look disgusting. So I want to take them out, stick them in the dishwasher. Probably not. My wife would kill me. But I am going to go spray them off with the hose and let them dry nice and thoroughly. I'll just keep away from this end, of course, but there's a lot of dirt on them, so I'm gonna go clean these up, get them out, and then once they dry, we can put them in there. So, should be as easy as just popping them in. I don't know, I didn't look at which side those go to, but should be like this, like this, like that, and like that. So now we got this, which I believe is your heater core hose, or whatever. And there's a ground on there as well that wasn't doing a whole lot. We're gonna pull that stud off here, which means this comes off, and I have no idea if that's just seized on there, how that comes off. I'm gonna try and just pull it off. I have no idea what I'm doing here. There it goes. Yep. All right. Oh, hey, look at that. It's got O-rings on it. Beautiful. Good, because I didn't buy those. And we're going to take this and we're going to slide this guy in place, just like the old one was. Man, that feels sketchily not great. I was able to get these broken loose from each other, which is good. We're going to go down here and put this in place. And we're just going to gently do that. So she's in there now. Bet you I could reuse the same ground strap. And we'll just put this end on this side for right now. I don't remember where this ground went though. That's the problem. I know it went somewhere, but I don't know if it went up or if it went down. It's already been like 8 days since I took this off, so things are hard to remember now. Okay, next thing, knock sensors. We got 2 knock sensors here and here. Those are going to come off. It looks like a 10 mil if I'm not mistaken. Yes, sir. Alrighty, so we're gonna get this guy, break that loose, break that one loose. I don't think it matters what side of the engine this ends up on, but for fun, we're just gonna put it back on the same side. I'm gonna put this guy right here. Oh yeah, there's too much paint on those threads. And this one. Okay, knock sensors are in. Alright, what else is still attached? This guy, I'm guessing that's a coolant temperature sensor. Oh yeah, that hole right here. So we'll go ahead and pull this one out. Oh, that actually unplugged easily enough. And we're gonna get a socket for that. I'm guessing a 19. Okay, I got a 19 millimeter 6-point deep socket for what I'm guessing is the coolant temperature sensor. All right, we're just gonna go to right there for tight. Okay, we can grab this harness and plug that guy in. Where are you at? There it is. Oh yeah, okay, that's plugged in. Moving on. Next thing, I think I'm ready to go ahead and throw the passenger side exhaust manifold on. So that's gonna go right here. This engine came with studs pre-installed. However, I already went ahead and bought a set of stainless studs. I feel like that's going to serve me well, so I hope. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all 8 of these studs and insert my stainless steel ones. I want to do that on both sides of the engine. So for this kit, which I'll link below, it seems to be a 15-30 seconds Allen head on the bottom of it. So that's what we're going to want, but I'm going to thread all of these by hand first. And this also has studs, which we're going to screw in here and here. We're gonna grab these, give it a little tightening it. You heard my wrist pop, that means it's tightened up. I want to put these nuts on it for now, just until it's installed. We'll take them off once it's in place, and that's where the exhaust is going to bolt up. Alright, so the gasket's in place. There does seem to be an up and a down. If you put them upside down, there's not enough breathing room on the top of the exhaust. Weird, but whatever. So now we're going to take our manifold, we're going to slide it on for real after we, dust off the bottom. Okay. We're going to slide that on. Once you get a couple holes lined up, the rest should just kind of fall into place. Alright, it would appear that these are 13mm nut. So I want to get that one just snug, not tight, just snug. I want to go to the one below it. Again, I don't know if this is right, just what I'm doing. That one snug. I'm going to go to the next middle one and snug that one up. Yes, a ratchet would be handy. But I grabbed a wrench. Snug, snug, snug. I'm going to come over here. Snug. Alright. So I want to torque these to spec after I get the other side on, but I want to get the other side on first and I'll come back. Alright, I was about to install the driver's side exhaust manifold, and then I realized it would probably be easier to get the engine mount and the oil cooler housing on first. Oil cooler. I keep saying that. Oil filter housing on first before I do the manifold. So, I don't need this engine mount. This is the left side, driver's side, because I have a new mount, but I do need the hardware. Oh! So I'm going to take 1, 2, and 3 bolts out. Oh, and you can just replace the actual mount. That's what I'm doing on the other side. However, I just so happen to find a whole assembly for about the same price on eBay, so went ahead and did that. Looks like a reman. Hopefully it's good. I don't know if they just put a new mount on the old rubber or what, but it's got the official Ford thing, so hopefully we're good. Put that on that other engine. Again, I'll try to find torque specs, but I'm going to go that tight. Right about there is where I'm going to go. Okay, so that's your engine mount. Oil filter housing is next. Notice I did not say cooler this time. Okay, I'm going to be very careful with this surface, assuming... Oh yeah, see, that one's got a gasket built into it. No problem. But I'm assuming that this is machined, so we want to be careful with that. I'm going to go grab the one off the old engine. Okay, I'm going to put this in the dripper. So providing you guys can see, so this was a $200 part from Ford, but I wanted Ford because I wanted quality, and there's all kinds of burrs in here still. So if you're asking me, I'll link one on Amazon because I don't think this is necessary. There's that. And I bought that straight from Ford. I also bought the gasket straight from Ford because this is one of those things I don't want to mess with once it's in there, so I want to just be done with it. Once it goes in, I don't want to touch it again, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to line this up here. I'm going to stick a bolt through to hold everything in place. Yeah, we're going to thread that one in just a little bit by hand. So I'm going to get everything sitting somewhat flush. Alright, again, I do not know the torque specs. But right about there seems real good. Alright, so I'm looking at this exhaust manifold and I see a problem, unfortunately. So if you look at, this is the driver's side exhaust manifold. You have the engine oil dipstick here. And it runs through the manifold, through this groove right here. This one doesn't have that groove. It looks like they webbed it right here. This is where it should go through. And I don't think that's gonna go through. So I'm kind of debating whether I cut this out and see if it works, or if I return this and get a different one. But I kind of had a hard time finding just normal manifolds that got decent reviews. Even these ones, everybody said cracked, but everybody said everything cracked on every single one they bought. So I might just try and cut this webbing out. I don't know the best way to do that, but either way, I definitely do not think that's going to fit, because there is a whole finger width of room there, and there's not there. So I don't think I'm gonna cut out a lot, just a little bit. So I might just grab a die grinder and ream that out a little bit, actually. Let me do that. Let's see how it looks. Alright, so I ground a good chunk out of there, probably 1/8 of an inch on the low side and almost 1/4 inch over here, probably. I hope that's enough, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna grab my 10 mil. I think we're going to just go ahead and install the dipstick first. That's not a 10, that's an 8. Awesome. I think I have an 8 sitting around here somewhere. Where'd that sucker go? There it is. Oh. So, doesn't matter if you need tighten or loosen, your ratchet will always be on the wrong one. Whatever it is you need, it'll be the other way. And then, I don't know how well this is going to come out. Not easy, apparently. It's a little seized in there, so. Oh boy. Somebody told me I should buy a new one, and I did not listen to them. And I get the feeling this is going to definitely bend coming out, but let's see if we can't make it happen. Not the bending part, but the coming out part. Nope, she is solid. She's gonna bend right on out. Alright, so it took a lot of wiggling, but I did get the dipstick tube out. So it's a fine shape, so I'll probably leave it. Okay, so this is gonna slide in to the hole. And it might be slightly bent from where it was because I did a lot of yanking on it. We're just gonna try and get her to settle on in back into her home. Oh yeah, I think that was it. I felt it move. We're still like 1/4 inch off, but it's setting down the block down there, which means I just bent it when pulling it out. So now I gotta bend it back. I'm gonna just tighten this all the way back up, and then we'll see if we shaved enough of our exhaust manifold off or not. Hoping we did. It's not really a pleasant task. Yes, there should be a new O-ring that goes on the dipstick tube. We're probably going to be pulling this back out here in a little bit, so I'm not too concerned about it right this minute. I just want to see if we're close on the manifold. Oh, look at that. That'll do it. We are barely touching. So, with that in mind, I might be able to actually just hammer that in. Like that. Let's try that out. We are no longer touching, so we shaved enough out. I think I'm going to go ahead and try for a little bit more right there just to keep it from the heat a little bit, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to cut just a little bit more right there, but I think we are at it. And so all of these looked similar before. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to show you. There we go. See, like that, it would not have fit. It's rubbing, we can't get close, so I had to shave it out. But I'm gonna go cut a little bit more just for peace of mind. So now that the dipstick tube's bent out of the way, we put an O-ring on it. We got this shaved way out, quite a bit so actually, so that everything fits. Now we can go ahead and attach this guy on. Same deal as the other side. I'm just gonna get one of these guys on real quick. So now I'm going to torque these, and I'm going to start, I don't know official, but I think it's 18 foot-pounds, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and then we come back and we do 26, 26, 26, 26. So, right or wrong, I think that's what I am going to do. There's 18. We're going to go ahead and put this back on. How did that get all whacked out of shape? Where's that catch? Oh. Catching on the dipstick tube. Really? we have to go cut some of this out right here. Hold on. Alright, I just cut the bottom half out of the the back half out of the bottom of the heat shield. Kind of mimicked the top one. Nowhere close to identical, but I tried to mimic it. Let's put it that way. I tried to mimic it with no effort. How about that? I just cut some stuff off, okay? So we're going to put this heat shield back on. So far, these Dorman ones look alright. This paint, I don't know how long it's going to last. My biggest concern right now is just that heat shield don't match up, and this webbing in the middle kind of creates a problem for the dipstick situation. But we'll see how it goes. I'm seeing a little something different here on this engine too. See this big old hole right here? What the hell is that up for about? This side, oh, there's just a rubber plug on this side. Whoop! There it goes. We can put the head in over here, I guess. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Good thing you guys are paying attention. Or I think that was in the other way. Oh, blink. There we go. Alright, so back to non-rabbit trail style. We gotta put this on after I get it on the hoist, because I don't want to do it right here, simply because when I pick it up I don't want it to and then catch anything. That would be my only concern there, so we're gonna wait. Other than that, we have this engine mount, which will be at O'Reilly's tomorrow. I can pick that up. We have the replacement crankshaft position sensor, which will be at Ford dealership tomorrow. And then I went ahead and ordered, I was going to order a dipstick O-ring, but to order just the O-ring was like $4. To get a whole new tube was $18. So I went ahead and ordered just a whole new tube. Start with one that's not all corroded down there and everything else. So that'll be in at, I think, Napa tomorrow. So I got to run some errands tomorrow is what I'm getting at. But then I think this is ready to, after those couple things, pick this up and drop it in there. So also, quick update. My radiator showed up today. Oh, look at that. I ordered it from Cold Case. It's an all aluminum, way overspent for what I need, but I like it and I want it, and I bought it. So all that said, I'm calling it quits for the night. I didn't spend a whole lot of time out here today. Spent a lot of time grinding on that exhaust manifold because I don't have any tools that fit in there, so I was using little tiny baby tools, which were kind of horrible. But for now, I am done out here. Alright, it is the next morning, and we are ready to, we're almost ready to pop this into the engine bay. We're close. So, I put, before I started the camera, I went ahead and replaced the dipstick tube. Keeping in mind that I had to grind this out, I had to bend the new tube just a little bit to make it fit everywhere. And I couldn't make it mount in the hole where it's supposed to be with the engine mount there. I had to take the engine mount off, and then the dipstick tube went right in, then the engine mount fit right back where it was supposed to, weirdly enough. So that would suck to do in the truck. Glad I did it now. This also fits way better than the other one, but the O-ring's brand new, so it should. The ground strap, I actually bought a new ground strap, just the Dorman replacement allegedly, and it was too short, so we're just going to reuse this one. I put the eyelet, the good eyelet, on down here, and I'll just make something work on the top side when we get there here in a little bit. Maybe even today. I don't have all day to play with this today, which is a bummer, but we're going to do what we can. So we're going to open this. Reminder, I am linking everything down below that I can, of course. This one even comes with a heat shield. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to use anti-seize here. However, did not have an issue with the last one seizing. Who knows how long it's been in there, so we're just going to go with it. Snug one, then tighten the other. About 18 foot-pounds or so like that. Uh-oh. Oh. About that many foot-pounds on that side. That many foot-pounds there, and that many foot-pounds there. So I bought a new bolt for it too. And this looks excruciatingly small, but should be right. So the people at Napa tell me it's right anyway. It doesn't allow for a lot of thread, so I'll probably pull the one off the old engine just to compare sizes, just to make sure before I suck that in there. Oh. As far as the balancer goes, oh, my nose is all drippy this morning. I'm sorry if you keep hearing me sniffle. It's not enjoyable for me either. Get over it. I'm sure you could also have an installer tool. But that's no fun either, so that is going on just a little bit. I feel like it's going on. Oh, we got threads. We got a handful of threads. I think we might be able to suck her on now. There she is. She's on. So that was the old bolt. So now I'll take that back out. Alright, so I got that weird gaskety scraper stuff off. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put the new bolt in. If you're reusing the old bolt, I don't think that's a problem. I just opted to use the new one. Alright, so now I just got to go through and torque everything because we're done except the flex plate, which we'll do when we pick it up, as I said. We do got to put the hoses on. I'll probably do that before it goes in, but we got to prime the oil pump too. But we're essentially going to force some oil up the oil filter housing through the system and hope that purges the air out, and we'll find out. Either way, we got a bunch of silent pulleys now, and it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. Alright, I think I'm ready to prime the oil system. Now keep in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing. Follow me at your own risk. What I got is a 5/16 FIP by 1/4 hose, and then I went ahead and bought a weed sprayer, which the hose barely fits the quarter, but we're working with what we got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat these threads in an awful lot of Teflon, because this is a very loose fit in that hole. The hole seems to be a 9/16 by 18 thread. This is a 5/16, but it fits and it threads, but it's pretty loose. So we're going to dope it up in a lot of pipe thread. I'm not going to use the liquid thread tape because this is going in the oil system and I don't want that. I then bought the cheapest oil filter that Napa had on the shelf, because I'm only going to use this for install. Once this is installed, we'll start it up. We'll probably let it run for 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to pull the oil filter, probably cut it open, see what's inside for the fun of it, and put a different one on. So this is very, very temporary. So so this is going to go, and it's going to go right here where your oil pressure sensor goes. But like I said, we're going to thread tape the ever-living daylights out of it. Hoping you guys can see better than I can right now. And then we're going to take this on. We're not going to crank it down. We're just getting her snug, trying to avoid oil leaks. So that is in now where the oil pressure sensor goes. Now we're going to fit the hose of the weed sprayer onto that. I cut the handle off, so I just have a hose, and then this hose is going to go on that barb fitting, and I'll be right back. Okay, once I put this oil in the engine, it's going to stay there until after the first startup. The manual says 500 miles before the first change. Alright, so I'm going to grab my sacrificial oil again, douse my finger, just lube this gasket. I believe all I'm trying to do right now is create a seal so that when we pressurize oil into there, it's not leaking. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in place. Yes, I know it's empty, but it's because this is going to come back off shortly, so we don't need it full. Okay, so that's in place. I need a washcloth, like whatever. And then we're going to put around about a gallon in here. Wow, 20 bucks doesn't even have a marking for how full you are. Oh, so this is also, by the way, non-synthetic. This is conventional dyno oil. Apparently that's what you use to break in an engine, according to all the smart people anyway. So I'm going to dump this whole 5 quarts in here, because why not? Put this back on the driver's seat to remind me to check the oil before starting. Now we're going to take a pump. Remember, keep this clean. This is going in your engine unfiltered, essentially. So thread this in. If this even works, I don't know. Okay, so At this point, I think we're ready to prime the system. Remember, there's no handle, so there's nothing stopping it. So as you pressurize it, it should start flowing, hopefully into the engine. Hopefully everything works, and hopefully this is a good idea. Oh, I know that's a lot of hopefullys, huh? And I barely have this hose in place. Oh, because it's not a 1/4 inch, and I had to stretch it to get it on as far as I did. But hopefully it don't come out either. So, alright, so we're gonna just start pumping this in. Oh yeah, she's that's some strong pumping. And we're just gonna pump it in. Hopefully you can hear that. It should be the sound of oil coming up through, or the air coming up through. Can't really see anything, which is disappointing, but it should be coming up. So we got pretty much, I'd say at least 4 quarts in there. There's not much left in the bucket. So now the fun part is getting this off without making a mess. We're probably making a mess. Doing. Hopefully you guys can see where we at right here. You guys can't see that? Well, of course not. Which means you probably didn't see me hook it up either, did you? So we're going to take this off. We're going to put the pressure sensor back in. Yeah, admittedly, we're probably going to make a mess. Yeah, we're making oily messes everywhere. So we're just going to embrace it and go with it. And try and be quick about it. Of course, we're not on off. So fitting out, she's gonna dump, and oil pressure sensor in. And I just got too slimy, I can't even grab it. Let me grab a towel. I have them right here, look at that, I was prepared. Alright, and then this is a 21, on me anyway. I'm gonna get this tightened in. So the guy on the old engine put this in, and I couldn't get my fingers around the backside to undo the harness. So we're going to try and be cognizant of that and try and get this harness clip somewhere where we can actually get to it, if so we should ever need. Oh, which, yeah, that's right where it was for him too, and it's tight, but we're going to keep going. Okay, so now you should be able to see it later if you ever should need. We should be primed. The oil system should be primed. Okay, at this point, I've moved all of the harnesses and stuff as much out of the way as I can remember it being. We are ready to pick this up, take the flywheel off the old engine, put it on this one, and this is ready to start getting stabbed in. This pallet is too wide to get my hoist in there, but I still able to get it attached, so we're going to see how this goes as we pick it up. There you go, it's coming up good. So far, so good. I'll pull this engine back out. I'm going to take the flex plate off, or flywheel, or whatever the heck they're called. I don't even know. I already started one of them just to see what size socket it was. You want this to go back on the same way it came off, as in you don't want to put it in upside down. So we're going to take it like this, and we're going to take the gasket and we're going to put that back on as well. The gasket's got to go on first, just like so. I'm imagining you guys can see this because I can't see what you see, so we're going to pretend like you can, even if you can't. Okay, I'm going to put this over top of these dowel pins, dowel rods, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to take our flex plate slash whatever it is you want to call it. Just so it doesn't fall off, I'm going to get one bolt in place, and then I'm going to go get my Loctite and the torque specs. Okay, so the flex plate. We're going to put some blue Loctite on here, and from what I can find, we're looking for about 60 foot-pounds. This is brand new, not open. Hold on. So 60 foot-pounds with blue Loctite. Something I just recently learned not all that long ago is I just bought colored Loctite. So if the bottle is blue, I assumed it was blue. If the bottle is red, I assumed it was red. That is not always the case. As I recently learned, I have a blue bottle I've used for a lot of things, and it actually says red on it. But the bottle is actually blue. So I found that interesting, thought you might too. Okay, so these holes are not even close to lining up. So we gotta figure out where they're gonna line up at. Right there, that is lined up. And from what I can find online, this is a 60 foot-pound endeavor, which I don't know if we're gonna be able to do or not. Ugh. Maybe. I'm gonna have to shove something in there to keep it from turning. Hold on. Alright. So we need to hold this flex plate from spinning while we torque it down. So I'm just going to shove this in here and hope it holds. There's one. Do the opposite one. There's two. Now you guys can't really see right now. I'm going to complete the square. There's three. 8. All right. Those are all torqued down. Take our screwdriver out. We're ready to plug this into the engine, which is exciting for me. So I want to work on that.